Neville is a Q1 goods engine from the Southern Railway. He had recently returned to the island after Topham had loaned him to the mainland, and now he was hard at work taking freight and stone up and down Thomas's branch line. The trucks had learnt they couldn't overpower him, and every journey went smoothly. He made many trips from the quarry to the junction, where he got to see the other big engines that worked on the main line, and he handled the work with ease. One morning, Neville was waiting in the yard with Stepney. Both engines liked to reminisce about their southern days, but found life on Sodor just as enjoyable. "Do you know what's missing here?" Stepney asked. "What?" Neville replied. "Brown bell in stock?" "No," Stepney beamed. "Bluebells. This line is fantastic, but it's not the same without the patches of purple dotted along the rails." "Of course," Neville agreed. "A nice forest would go with those. I know there's a forest by Maythwaite. There may be some there." "Okay, you two, that's enough gossiping for now," Stepney's driver said. "Come on, old boy, we need to get you ready for your next train." He climbed into Stepney's cab when they were about to set off when... Oh no. "What was that?" Stepney gasped. "We'd better take a look," his driver answered. He climbed down and examined Stepney's undercarriage. "Your crankshaft has given way," he explained when he emerged, "so it looks like you're not going anywhere today." The Fat Controller was informed of the development. "The easiest thing to do is to reschedule the train to Neville, as he's already there," he boomed. "I'll find another engine to collect the freight, or may split the train between Duck and Percy. I'll be back once I've organised Stepney's transfer to Crowden's Gate." "Looks like my passengers will be riding with you today," Stepney said. "I know," Neville answered, though he sounded glum. "I thought you'd like a fresh change," Stepney explained, confused by Neville's anxiety. "I'm just worried they'll look at me like they did on the mainland," Neville explained. "Whenever I stop at a station, people would stare and point and say, 'Look at that engine. It's the ugly duckling of the fleet.'" "You're not ugly," Stepney protested. "Your design is terrific." "For railways, yes, but the lay folk don't understand that. They just decide their opinion based on whether things look nice or not." And he seemed sadly away to get ready for the train that he didn't want to pull. Duck collected Stepney and helped him to the works. Neville waited in the yard as Percy shunted Helena and Victoria to the platform. He could see he was looking glum. "What's the matter?" "I don't want to pull this train," Neville replied. "But you're so strong," Percy said, confused by Neville's refusal. "Coaches should be no problem for you." "It's not the coaches," Neville stopped him. "It's the passengers. They won't want their train pulled by an ugly duckling." "Nonsense," Percy said. "You're not an ugly duckling, or as strong as an ox. I used to be called a green caterpillar with stripes because of my paint and round boiler, but I soon learned if anyone's silly enough to think an engine's ability to pull a train is down to their looks, they're not worth listening to." That made Neville feel slightly better. Ignoring his anxiety, he trotted to the station to get his train ready. Neville arrived at the platform and was surprised by how quickly visitors turned up. Instead of getting into their coaches, they came over to talk to him. "When did the Fat Controller get such a magnificent engine?" one of them said. "Why, thank you," Neville answered, taken aback by the compliment. Soon the crowd built up with people asking him and his driver curious questions and taking pictures with him. "Is it true he's as strong as the West Country Pacific? How much did it cost to build him? Are there any more of his kind?" Eventually the guard blew his whistle, but not for Neville to set off. "Come on, everyone," he said to the passengers. "You're making your own train late." The passengers obeyed and got into the carriages. The guard blew his whistle again and Neville set off as smoothly as he could. He wanted to make a good impression. He sauntered down the line with no issue. The coaches ran so smoothly compared to trucks and were much lighter. Sometimes Neville forgot he was actually pulling rolling stock. Helena and Victoria were also very impressed with everyone. "So strong but gentle, so strong but gentle." There was no mention of ugly ducklings. By the time Neville made it to the junction, he was disappointed his run was over. Bear was waiting there. "I see you've caught the coach bug too," he chuckled. "Once you've pulled, then you'll never want to go back to trucks." Neville could only agree half-heartedly, but he did want to take coaches more often. When Stepney returned, he was pleased to find Neville's spirits lifted. "How was the run?" "I thoroughly enjoyed it," Neville replied, "but not as much as the passengers. They spent so long fussing over me, I was almost late." "So you weren't an ugly duckling after all?" Stepney grinned. "No," Neville agreed. "They saw me for what I could do, not what I looked like. And that is what makes you, you," Stepney added. "Exactly," Neville smiled. "And that's all I need to be."